Hello, I'm going to talk about when I traveled to Switzerland. First, I'm going to tell you about the unusual things that people told me and I saw. I asked them why didn't people have so many dogs, and they told me that they had to pay a tax for a dog. That's right! Dogs are taxed in Switzerland. In some cantons, subnational entity charge a fixed fee, while others charge you according to size and weight of the dog. Now, the most unusual thing they told me, and it was an old person. Many of the houses have a nuclear shelter. He told me that in the year of 1963, in the middle of the Cold War, a federal law required that inhabitants of the Swiss country to have an atomic shelter under the floor of their houses, but on March 9, 2011, the lower house approved a motion to suppress the rule, but 2 days later, the earthquake and tsunami that devastated Fukushima, the rule reacted fear and the motion was negative. I asked him if all the houses has a nuclear shelter, and he told me that there are currently 300,000 shelter in homes, hospitals and schools, plus another whole 1,000 of a community nature with a total capacity to house 114% of the population. If you are going to build a house and want to avoid having to build the bunker, you can also contribute 1,500 francs, which in euros is 1,247 euros, to the local government to secure a place in the nearest community shelter. I visited a school and I had the opportunity to speak with the school principal and asked him about the system, and his answer was that the education system in Switzerland is one of the most diverse that exist, since it depends on the canton where you study. The Swiss constitution established that primary education is compulsory for all the children. In addition, public education is free in all cantons. Another unusual things that I saw in Switzerland is very famous for eating a lot of chocolate, up to 12 kilograms per person per year. And you heard eating a lot of chocolate? Mexican children will love Switzerland. Another will make a lot of very large cheese. Some piece of emmental can weigh more than 120 kilos. Having many banks. There are more banks than dentists. Many Starbucks coffee shops. Delicious. There are already more Starbucks than banks. When I'm in Switzerland, all the time I go to Starbucks and I'm eating a sandwich. Many watches. They account for half of the world production of luxury watches. Many mountains. 70% of Switzerland is covered with mountains and many lakes, more than 1,500 lakes. You will never be more than 20 from a lake. It's the country of much. And now, unusual rules of etiquette that people taught me. First, what to do when some present you. When you are introduced to someone, you have to address you in the respective language of the province of canton in which you are, followed by their surname. Do not call an unknown person by her first name or kiss her. The greeting is accompanied by a handshake. The trickiest thing is only with friends or people you know very well. Second, when I was eating in a restaurant, a woman got very angry because she was waiting for minutes for her company, and I asked one of the waiters why the girl left so angry, and he answered me that in Switzerland you shouldn't be late. If you have an appointment at 11 o'clock, you must arrive at 11 o'clock, not at 10:59, much less at 1 o'clock. And finally, when I wanted to go to a store or an emblematic place, I asked for an Uber and he always picked me up a car, but the car was only made of two brands, Volkswagen and Skoda. This is the travel when I go to Switzerland. Thank you for listening to me and see you the next